Hello everybody, my name is Matthew, and before I start my presentation, I would just like to let you know that if you are following along on the visual aid that I have provided for you today, I'll go ahead and do this, and that signifies that you can go ahead and flip the PowerPoint. I'll obviously do that so you'll know what slide corresponds to what I'm talking about. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Hello everybody, my name is Matthew, and amidst the 2020 COVID outbreak, it may seem that there is no solution for catching illness early and being able to take action upon it. Thankfully, there is hope for many cancer patients across the globe as genetic screening for cancer is becoming more popular, and it's the most accurate and newest way for diagnosing cancer. Usually for many cancer patients, diagnosis is a long, drawn-out process that requires seeing multiple physicians, going to many doctors' offices, and just seeing a lot of people within a long time frame, actually. And while time is of the essence for these patients, there must be a more effective and efficient way to scan for cancer and eventually begin treatment. As a pre-med student and the son of a cancer survivor, I am interested in the research and development of medical technology that uses DNA for its full potential like this one. And as most of you guys in my audience are engineering majors, I would love to share with you how DNA is so powerful by using this genetic cancer screening process as a practical example. In this presentation today, I will be going over what exactly DNA is, the characteristics of this new cancer screening system, as well as why this technology is so important, not only within the medical community, but across the world. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, we all know what DNA looks like based on its characteristic double helix wound structure, but what exactly does it do and how does it tie into cancer? Well, looking at my genetics class research book, written by Sanders and Bowman, DNA is made out of these tiny, tiny little letters, and these letters are called codons, and they come in 4 or 5 different types. There's A, C, T, G, and sometimes U. That's why I said sometimes 5, because U isn't always present. But these letters stand for a long chemical compound name, but we don't need to know that today. So when you pair these letters into bases of 3, they code for different things within your body, whether that be hair type, eye type, hair color, eye color, and anything really in your body can be said thank you to DNA. Even inside your body, like different bodily functions and how your organs work within each other is attributed to DNA. So essentially without DNA, we would not be us, I would not be me, and you guys would not be you guys. So DNA is what makes us us. It increases the diversity within the human race and almost any animal in the world. Now, how does this tie into cancer? Going back to how DNA does things within our body, cancer cells hijack healthy cells' DNA by infecting their DNA, yes, and creating mutations in it that allow it to bypass the cell cycle and just keep reproducing, no matter if they're healthy or if they're not healthy at all, which is a characteristic of cancer and why it is so deadly and why it is so good to catch it early, because of these mutations that will ultimately lead to cancer. So now that we know about some of the functions of DNA and how it plays a role in cancer, we can talk about how it is implemented within cancer screening. Looking at the document that was written on this new technology by ML Page, we see that this technology works by locating methyl groups within the DNA of a cancer, because these methyl groups are very characteristic of cancer genes, as they are found in them, and they're the mechanism that allows it to bypass the cell cycle and to just keep reproducing and reproducing without regards to anything really. And it does this by using a learning software, and this learning software pretty much just uses old patients' trials and new patients' trials. Old patients' trials are like the database that it gets it from, and it can rely on saying, oh, this is what cancerous DNA looks like, or this is what it doesn't look like. And then as a new patient's DNA comes in, it adds that to the database, essentially making it smarter. So as people are tested, this software is getting smarter, which means that its productivity will increase. The results that it can give after it can be what type of cancer that you have, and as well as if you have cancer or not, as it is still up to the physician to tell you if you have cancer or where it is in your body. So the success rate after you get your results is about 99.3%, leaving a 0.7% margin of error, which in theory is not that much, but the researchers behind this project want to get this down to about 0.3 or 0.2 before they release it to the general public and to hospitals and clinics around the world. So now that we know how this works and why it's such a revolutionary technology, we can begin to look about how it helps patients and why it's such a novel. So the current cancer screening system is a little bit long and drawn out, as explained by the Mayo Clinic in their research article. We see that there's many processes, as you have to see many people to get lab work, imaging, and physical tests done, and the fact of the matter is that cancer patients do not have this time, as time is of the essence for this. So implementing this will allow for a faster turnaround time and allow for patients to begin their treatment and ultimately increase survival rates of these patients. So taking this information that we know now, we can apply it to other genetic diseases like Alzheimer's and lactose intolerances, or even diabetes, as these are all genetic diseases that can be stopped and controlled by knowing what the DNA is looking like within the genome of that person. So you can take this learning software and apply it to different sicknesses that are very, very common, which is why I like seeing this type of technology, and I hope that it begins to grow. So in today's presentation, we have covered exactly what DNA is, the characteristics of these new cancer screening systems, as well as why this new technology is so important. And I hope from this presentation you have a greater understanding of how important such a small molecule like DNA plays in all forms of life and the potential that it has for bettering healthcare and survival rates around the world. Thank you.